Welcome to the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union, and tonight's game between the Blue Jackets and the Montreal Canadiens presented by Nationwide, recognizing agency of the game Overmeyer Hall Associates. I'm Dylan Tyre here with you, getting you set for the action. Remember, the Blue Jackets come back after a 5-4 overtime victory at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit Saturday night. That game highlighted by Jack Roslovic's second career hat trick. His third goal won the game for the Blue Jackets, again by a final score of 5-4 in overtime. So the Blue Jackets feeling quite good coming into tonight's game against the Montreal Canadiens. David Savard, Josh Anderson back in the building as well. But the biggest storyline tonight, the Blue Jackets' top prospect, Kent Johnson, set to make his NHL debut. The Blue Jackets drafted Johnson 5th overall at this past summer's NHL entry draft, and head coach Brad Larson says he's happy to get him in the lineup.
Really looking forward to see what he looks like on the ice, and he's going to be nervous. I don't have any expectations of him right now as far as what it's going to look like. I just want him. My advice to him is just go be you, and then we'll go from there.
Now, Kent Johnson, not the only Blue Jacket to make his NHL debut this evening. Johnson's teammate and captain at the University of Michigan, Nick Blankenburg, will also make his National Hockey League debut for the Blue Jackets, and he says he's excited for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really special experience for me, and I know for Kent as well. And the last few days have been pretty crazy, and you always kind of think about when this moment's going to come, and it just feels really good to be here and to have the opportunity. So a lot of hard work and dedication out of a lot of people for me to get to this point. So
certainly a big one tonight at Nationwide Arena. And for more on tonight's matchup between the Blue Jackets and Canadiens, here are Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
Well, Jody, the story of the night is Kent Johnson and Nick Blankenburg making their NHL debuts. Just a couple of days ago, they were playing college hockey, and now they're going to be in the NHL. It's got to be thrilling for them.
Yeah, I mean, the first game for every player is so special, a moment they'll never forget. And the way that this season has gone for the Blue Jackets to infuse these two young, high-end talents into the lineup right now, into a great group in that locker room, it's going to be an exciting night. The 5th overall pick in Johnson, he's got all the skill. He brings a lot of poise with the puck. I hope we see that skill tonight in the offensive zone. The way the Blue Jackets play in their system, they allow for that to show. So let's see that tonight, Ken. And then with Blankenburg, this is a no-nonsense guy. He's a guy who thinks hit first. So Blue Jackets could use a little bit of that kind of snarl back there. So let's see him bring that. Excited to see these young guys that are part of now and the future.
Back in your first game, did you worry about making that impression right away? I know what your job was. It was a little bit different than Kent Johnson's job is going to be tonight, but do you have to just try to keep being the player that you have been? Be the player that got drafted. Be the player that got signed. Don't go out of your element.
It's so easy to tell somebody that. You know what I mean? But, yeah, these guys want to make their first impression, the best. And that's all you want to do. You want to do everything you want to do everything in your first shift. You want to get it all done right away. You want to score the goals. You want to make the plays. You want to be the star. So hopefully that these guys, they just finished playing. They've had a couple practices. Maybe that'll help them maybe do what you just said and dial it back and just take one shift at a time. But the first shift, it's like trying to drink through a fire hose. It all comes at you so fast. And for them right now, the excitement, the butterflies, the anticipation of being on this ice here at Nationwide Arena, putting on that jersey, dreams come true. They probably aren't hearing much down there in the locker room, to tell you the truth.
9 games left in the regular season for this team, and it's not just these players that have something to prove. There are still guys that are trying to get jobs for next year. Everybody's trying to leave with the best impression in mind, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's not just this team watching. Everyone in the league is watching. There's scouts in the building every single night. You can make impressions on other teams. So there's teams that'll be here as part of the Blue Jackets in the future, and there are players in this lineup that may not be. And it's so fun to be a part of every single season and be a part of something, especially now. These players have gone through the rigors. They're enjoying these games. They like the hard work. But now to get into the games and be a part of it. You don't know what it's going to be next year, so they enjoy that too. So you got to show what you got. You're right about that. We've talked about that in years of the past, but you also got to show what this team is working towards, and I think that's what Brad Larson is watching closely.
Let's talk about Montreal for just a second here. Martin St. Louis came in a number of weeks ago, and the Blue Jackets played him in just his second game as the interim head coach. But from the time he arrived, this team has been completely different. Now, in all fairness, they had a lot of key guys out of their lineup and still do. However, they just played differently. Why?
Well, you've been around Marty St. Louis. You know how much of a competitor and a presence he is. He's a guy that a lot of the players on the bench have adored. You know, he's from that area. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a guy who understands the game. He sees everything differently, and he's relatable. And I think for a team like Montreal, who was trying to find out what was happening and who they were, and individuals were kind of lost, he went in there and just provided them that assertiveness, that confidence to grow, to be who you are. He provides the structure to the team, but he also says to guys like Caulfield, who's exploded since he got on the scene, since Marty St. Louis got on the scene, what to do in the offensive zone, how to be relatable, how to help the team, but also help yourself. So it's an energy that he brings. It's a competitiveness, and they're playing much better hockey now.
And belief.
Belief is a big thing, Bob. I definitely believe that is a key factor.
All right, that's the way we see it. For Jody Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott. Dylan, back to you.
Thanks again to Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley. That's going to do it for tonight's edition of the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyre saying enjoy the game.